welcome to part 2 of the video of the Rolls going to the Arctic. We've left the Arctic Circle centre and the bleakness, and God, it was so cold up there. I hope you watched it. It was part 1 of the video. It was minus 17 up there and the wind chill was off the scale. I took my gloves off and within 2 minutes I was chilled to the bone. I had to quickly get back to the car, just couldn't operate anything. This video, part 2, we're going to see a bit more scenery now we're in the Arctic Circle, and we're heading up to a place called Narvik, which is we'll get there about 7 o'clock tonight, and we're right down by a fjord here, so we're going to chase the northern lights, just see what more the top end of Norway offers. At the moment we're just at the end of February, so we've got this wonderful snow everywhere and this icy cold fields in front of us. It's about 160 miles to go, but it's fantastic scenery up here. And I have to say, going to the Rolls Royce Shadow, it's this beautiful ride. This is a great car for this part of the world, because they don't really speed out here. Speed limit on this sort of road is 80-90 kilometers an hour, 50-55 miles an hour, and this just lollops along doing its 15-16 to the gallon. Very relaxing, very comfortable, and you just get to watch the scenery drift by. But what we really want though are the northern lights, so hopefully tonight they put on a bit of a show and we can go and show you those. Looking at the temperature gauge outside, and it's off the scale and it goes up to minus 15, so we're below that. You tend to forget when you're driving on this sort of packed ice that you get so used to. Right, you've got these tiny tunnels, 4.2 metres high. This one's 2.5 kilometres long, and in we go. They're sort of dusty inside, some of these as well, a bit spooky. Right, we just discovered you follow the E6 to Narvik, and I was wondering why the next 30 miles is going to take 2 hours. I've now discovered the reason why. We're in a queue for a ferry. No warning, no nothing. You come to the end of the road and there's a queue for a ferry. So there is not a, if you turn round, this is what you're faced with. There's not a boat, so there's nothing in view. And there's just sort of hope value because we've actually got a few cars behind us. There will be a ferry tonight. It's 6 o'clock, so it's not too bad, but it is about minus 12, minus 14 out here or something, so a bit chilly. We can only hope a ferry turns up soon. Well, there we go. Nothing like a bit of forward planning. We had no idea about this ferry. Where do I go then? Not a lot of instruction. Am I going to do that? Have I done right? Did I just drive on? No one's followed me on, which is a bit of a worry. Do I look behind? What? That bloke was trying to get some money off me or something. You can't get me now, mate. Done it to a runner. I'm in a Rolls, don't you know? I'm in a Rolls Royce. God, quick, let's go hide. Right, well, you won't be surprised to hear that the ferryman caught up with me, and you do have to pay to be on this ferry. 179 krona, which seems quite fair. And yeah, I can't get over how you just come across the ferry. I thought we were on the main road up to Narvik. Oh, that's the handbrake, that's what that light is. But no, there's a ferry involved. We literally went round a corner, had no idea, and then straight onto the ferry. Thank goodness it came quite quickly. But while we're on the ferry, we Justin, the photographer for Octane, noticed a green glow above some mountains on the left, facing north, and the northern lights are coming out. And I can't believe we were at Arctic Circle on the number one on the bucket list for this trip. That was about midday today. It's only 7 o'clock now, twilight still, but the northern lights look as though they're coming out. So we're going to head up into the hills and hopefully capture a great display of the northern lights. Never seen them before in my life, neither has Justin, so we're properly excited. We're trying to wash the car and it's -10 outside. And we're having a little bit of difficulty because it's freezing almost immediately. It looks like an ice bun now. It's all on the top, all this ice. But Justin Mason is a professional photographer and only photographs clean cars. So here we are in the Arctic, trying to use a car wash to not great effect. Things I have to do.
Like a skating rink.
That's nuts. That's all frozen. Look at that. There you are. Pretty frozen. I've got a pebble. Look at that roof. I've got a white vinyl roof. I've always wanted a vinyl roof. Whose idea was this?
This is a fantastic paint finish. It's a SEMA.
This is our chosen spot to see the northern lights, which unfortunately on the camera I have you're not going to see, but we're all togged up, we're waiting for them to appear. It's about -8 out here, so you have to be dressed like this because you've no idea how long you're going to wait, but hopefully following this you'll see an amazing shot with this car and the aurora lights all over it. Well, we're at end of the road on this amazing journey up into the Arctic Circle. We carried on after the Arctic Circle and we ended up in Lofoten Islands, which are these islands. Stayed in Narvik last night, and as we got off the ferry just on the way to Narvik, the northern lights just lit up. Amazing scene, you know, you wait all this time to see it and they're just there, and it was about 6:30, 7 o'clock. So we grabbed that and then we went to the hotel and planned what we were going to do. In the bar, had a 17th story of the hotel, get out and they're there again. So if you do come up to this area, when you go north, you're almost guaranteed the northern lights as long as you get clear skies. But what a car to do a journey in. When I bought this thing on eBay back in November, the last thing I thought I'd do was a journey like this, and then just getting to know it, seeing how it could do the sort of GT cruise, very gentle, wafting along with you just enjoy the scenery more because the car is it's just so silent and just there just to cos it to you really. So it's been an extraordinary journey to go all this way. The thing I would say about touring in Norway is the distances are vast, way bigger than you expect. We've done in this car 2,033 miles since leaving home. From Oslo, to drive back to Oslo from here is 900 miles. Think about that, just Oslo, just Norway. We're not right at the top. We were going to Tromsø, which is, well, just a bit further up the map. There, Tromsø at the top of that map. That's still not the top of Norway. There's another, I think, 500 and something kilometres if you want to go to Nordkapp, the very top of Europe. Huge country. Don't underestimate the distances if you come to Norway, but the scenery is off the scale. Each time you sort of go around a corner and say, whoa, look at that. And what a time to tour it in February. You've got to be careful on tyres. I'm so glad I picked top winter tyres for this, for the Rolls. You need them. You will get used after a few days that sometimes it's just pure ice and you just keep the momentum going and you're through it. I'm staggered. We still haven't seen any form of an accident or a scratch on a car or somebody through a hedge. Doesn't seem to happen. If you want to go off the side roads, they're white. And up in this northern part of Norway, most people seem to drive with studs. Not all, but 70–80% seem to have studs. Highly recommend it. Everyone seems to speak English, sometimes better English than me. It's embarrassing when you go to the fuel station and you ask the taxi. Fabulous country, bit expensive on food, petrol about the same price as the UK, but I know I'm going to come back because this has just been the most amazing adventure. We're heading back home in this tomorrow, so we've got another 2,000 miles to do, so this is a 4,000 mile trip. The way it's running now, this Rolls is actually running better than when I set off. Oil consumption's gone, so I have no qualms. I think it'll just do it all the way. Well, if you got this far through the video, you're probably wondering what the trip home was like. Well, I'm pleased to say we are now home. It took 4 days, 5 days to get home, you count the ferry crossing. 3 days to get down through Norway, which was really tough. Do not underestimate the trip through Norway. Doing 300 odd miles a day is quite hard work on the roads that are just pure ice, and you just don't make the progress you expect. The temperatures are off the scale. We saw -28 at one point, and I don't think we saw above -15 for the whole trip through Norway. I had fingers crossed for the poor old girl getting through that, but utterly perfect all the way through. Got to Oslo, got on board the ferry down to Copenhagen. It's such a relief having a hotel room that moves overnight and takes you 600 miles down the coast. And we landed in Copenhagen yesterday. I think it's 9:45, docked off the boat around 10 o'clock. And my plan then was just to cruise along 65–75 miles an hour through all the countries. You go to Denmark, Germany, Holland, Belgium, France, back to UK, stay somewhere in France. And we just, it was so easy. This thing is wonderfully comfortable and just lollops along. And by about 8 o'clock we think, you know what, let's just drive home. So we did 900 miles last night in this car and eventually got home to the UK about 2 o'clock this morning, to be met by all this snow. That there was a snow event happening in the UK while we were away, and the last bit up the drive was a bit of a struggle. But my son got the bits of farm kit to get us through, and that made all the difference. An amazing journey. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hats off to this car though, a £4,000 Rolls Royce, over 4,000 miles completed. The only tool I needed to take with me was a screwdriver to adjust the points. In the back I've got all sorts of fluids and liquids and all my tool kits and spare fuel pumps, headlights, fan belts. No, all I needed was one screwdriver, put oil in it every now and then, and that was it. Absolute remarkable testament to Rolls Royce engineering back in the day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Keep watching, keep subscribing, more coming along very soon.